you know, drumming in general, you know, that's something I haven't picked up. You know, I do all my own drums. You know, I do them digitally, which is a completely different ball game. What advice can you give to an up and coming drummer? I mean, I know you're pointing on putting in the you pointed, you know, to putting in the work. Excuse me. You know, spending time doing it. But what other words of advice can you give an inspiring drummer?
When you hear other bands and you focus in on their drummer, take bits and pieces from all of the different styles. Like I said, you do not want to copy somebody, because then you don't have your own identity. Even when I'm playing to CDs, I don't play verbatim. I play it verbatim enough, you know I'm playing it, but I still put my own flair to it.
I noticed that when I walked in to the studio today.
Yes, I still put my own flair to it, because I'm not trying to be that person. You're that person. I'm Xerxes. You're Thomas Hayek, which I can't. I can't do him. He's a bad piece.
Yeah.
But
Meshuggah in general is.
That's what I would say is probably the most important, is listen to all the different here, I will say this too. Never stifle yourself in one style or only one genre. You can have your favorites, but do not stifle yourself sticking with, like, I'm strictly a rock drummer, or I'm strictly an R&B drummer, or I'm strictly a jazz drummer. No. Play everything. Learn how to play it all. A lost art today are the fields. We call them rolls. You know, back in my day.
We were talking about this, or I can't remember if we were talking about it, or I heard it somewhere that it might have been us talking, but yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's just sections. You know, that there's not a lot of transition between parts of the song where, you know, that used to incorporate fills to expand the palette, as it were.
Because too many times the focus today, especially like say in metal, the focus is on the feet. Double with your feet, with the double bass. And you tend to lean away from the fills. But yet, to me, it's still a very important part of your repertoire when it comes to your drumming. And number 2, triplets. I'll give you a display of them later on. But you must incorporate triplets to your repertoire, because it takes your drumming to another level. Grand Funk Railroad was the first band that I heard doing triplets, and I was like, wow, what's he doing there? But all you gotta do is listen to each drum. I figured it out, and I'm like, oh, triplets. But then Dave Weckl took it 5 levels up.
Well, I'm gonna touch on 2 things. You know, one thing about, you know, a lot of metal bands or new metal bands or whatever the subgenre of the subgenre is these days, you know, under the same umbrella. You know, obviously talking to me, you know, I'm a huge Tool fan. You know, I'm gonna, you know, one thing I appreciate about Tool's Danny Carey is, you know, he doesn't spend a lot of time with his feet. He incorporates the toms a lot. You know, another thing, you know,
a lot of tribal stuff. He does a lot of
definitely a lot of tribal stuff. You know, to someone, you know, someone watching this that's not familiar, I know you're going to give us a demonstration, but explain the triplet.
Triplet's pure and simple. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It makes no difference what you're hitting, what limb you're using, as long as you follow 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There are different variations of it. Right, left, foot, left, right, foot, foot, right, left, foot, left, right. But you also have your quads, I call them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? Foot right, left, right. Considering that 1. You know what I mean?
Well, talking about backwards. You know, I know this is one thing we talked about before, and you know, and once again, you know, you're a drummer by trade. You know, I play the axe by trade. You're way up on drummers. You pay attention to you know the drummers that are out there. Talking about backwards, one thing, and going back to I guess the original inspiration. One thing that I've always noticed is, you know, you lead with your left hand. Am I correct? And I also know that
Yes.
you know that your original inspiration, you know, Ringo Starr also leads with his left hand. You know, was that an intentional thing, or did it just happen to work out that way?
Ringo leads with his left. The traditional way to play is to place the hi-hats higher and lower your snare. That way your arms aren't hitting each other. And because other guys that were playing drums and all, and you know, you begin watching other drummers and everybody's playing traditional. And I thought back to, okay, what inspired you? Ringo. So then why are you doing this? If he's the one and he did it like that. So, but if you looked at my kit, you'll notice I have rides on both sides. I can go around the set. I don't have to come all the way back over here to hit a ride. This is a 24, that's a 22. When I finish up over there, hit the 22 or hit the 18 crash that's down there. Incorporating your splashes. It all depends on what you're doing, but I also do not have everything going from high to low. It is real high, high, going down, but then I go back up. And then that goes down, but then once you hit the floors, naturally they're going to be.
And you're
much
referring to
lower.
your toms here.
Yes. Traditional, as you go to the right, they're lower. Tone-wise.
I noticed that, yeah.
I break that up so that as I'm going around, I'm going low, but then I go back up high. And then you only control it by going back down to your floors or coming over to this side. My kit is always my spokes piece.